Hey everyone, ALine Mask here. So in this podcast, I did an interview with Redgrinner, but unfortunately, I just had to do a few tests, but I didn't really get a chance to do the test. And I did this podcast without headphones per se, but it did go pretty well. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I do hope you guys enjoy the podcast, and there will be other podcasts in the future. Thank you, and I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Okay, is this thing working?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, actually, crystal clear.
Yeah, this thing is actually really clear.
Yeah, it's really surprising. Think this is the first time I've heard your voice.
I have done a few on my TikToks, but like every time I do it on TikTok, it's just not clear for me.
TikTok's audio recording is a piece of shit. I'm just gonna be frank.
Right. I know I don't really like recording my voice when it comes to TikTok because this just sounds way too fucking blurry.
Well, the beauty of a podcast, and I've never really stopped to listen to podcasts in the past. This is my first podcast, even attending. The beauty about the podcast, doing it with other people, it encourages conversation, and then it feels a lot less awkward saying stuff, you know?
Yeah. And yeah, this is what I just want to do. Like every time I get like a new guest, I just want to like ask them like not really like personal questions, but it's like like what made you become like a TikToker, YouTuber, a gamer? Like what made you?
Yeah,
do this?
the generic cliche questions, pretty much.
All right, so let me just do a little introduction, so that way whoever's listening, they know what's going on. So my name is ALine Mask. I am here with Redgrinner. He is my very first guest, my very first person I'm doing the podcast with. Actually, that's kind of a lie. You're not actually the very first one. The very first attempt, I did try it with somebody, but I tried it on my PS4, but it just did not work at all. Yeah, so I was like, oh my god, you piece of shit.
So you're doing it on your phone now?
Yeah, so this is just my phone. But earlier I actually bought a tablet because I was doing a few tests on my phone and somebody called like on the other end, and I guess it just kind of ruined the whole thing. So like whenever I use the tablet, it's not going to ruin anything at all.
Okay.
All right, so I'm really excited. Like I can't really tell you how
it's funny because you have the podcast voice too. you got the perfect voice for this.
Honestly, I think you have an amazing voice. Like I just, right now I'm just really excited. I'm like,
okay, let's not get too carried away in here.
So, first question is, I know the reason why you have the name Redgrinner is because of that red mask you wear, but is there like another story about Redgrinner?
Oh, I believe it or not, the mask came afterward. So, for a good period of time on TikTok, I had the username true.joker0801 because the only cosplay I had at the time was the Joker. And at some point, I determined I didn't want to really blend in with a group. I wanted to stand out a little bit more. And I went through one other name. It was Mr. Personalities. That was a given one to me. And then I decided I wanted to branch off of Joker. I decided Red Grin. No one else had taken that. I didn't have to add any numbers to it, nothing. It was perfect. And then the image came afterwards. Originally the image was it was like a red emoji with his white grin that I put together. It was great. Eventually got it stylized. And it was from there that it finally stuck. It became my logo, and I then created a character based on it, and that's also how I now have my current demon OC. Right.
And what is like the backstory of this demon? Like, is he like a happy demon, a possessive demon? Like, what is like?
Okay, he's a Punisher demon. In I did a little bit of development because the character came first, and I was just having a whole lot of fun, kind of creating this side, putting a lot of my charisma, my bluntness, my morbid and raunchy humor into this one character, a guy who is immortal, supposed to be the basically replace the devil, because I felt like that guy needed an update anyways, especially for the modern day. You kind of want the guy who's ruling hell to really embody a whole lot of the things that the radicals don't like. And so I came up with this guy. I literally lost track of my train of thought.
No, you're all good.
I got it. Okay, so bouncing right back. Sorry, you asked what his backstory was. So Redgrinner is a Punisher demon. In his world, demons, well, they're born psychopaths. But they don't lie. They can't lie. This also means that if they make a vow, they can't break it. So Redgrinner is the example of a demon who was chosen and forced to follow a specific set of laws that give him an artificial moral code, and I really like that. He really doesn't care about anyone, but his laws can make it seem as if he is really a good person.
Right. Another question is, I know like when people create OCs, they kind of have like a little personal connection with their OCs, because like whenever I make my Raul vampire cosplay, my connection with him is just that when I was in high school, I used to be like, one of those emo kids that wears black eyeliner, and during the time, it was like, everyone's into Twilight, Team Jacob, Team Edward.
I don't like Twilight, man. They ruined vampires.
I know, right? But I would say I was actually Team Jacob, because I like the whole werewolf thing.
Yeah.
And then, I somehow accumulated like, hey, you know what? Vampires are known to be much wiser. They live like a very long life, so they know like a thing or two. And I've been known to be kind of a wise man. And so that's why I was like, you know what? I'm going to create a vampire character, because that's like one of the things that vampires are kind of known for, is that they're very wise because the length of time they've been living for.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you have a personal connection with Redgrinner or something like that?
I do, actually. When it comes to Grinner, he embodies both positive and negative aspects of me. Like, if I was to take away the anxiety, and I took away the care about hurting people, take away the tact, and you just pump them full of charisma and confidence, and then you get this guy who you can admire parts of him, but you also hate parts of him. You know what I mean? It's like he's got I like to say he's the type of guy who, if you use him the right way, he can be a positive influence, but he can also be a negative influence. I feel like that's important when it comes to portraying a demon of his kind.
Right. Do you have like any other upcoming characters you're thinking of developing, or right now you're just kind of sticking with Grinner and Joker?
Grinner and Joker are my primaries, and Joker's not just a copy either. He is a original personification of the character after doing extensive research into various versions of him. This is why I tend to I tend to just delete and block anyone who decides to provide their criticisms of the character. But I do have cosplay goals, and I do have a couple of OCs on the side that aren't primaries. There's Raven and Audie. I don't know if you'd ever seen those two. And then as far as cosplay goals, I eventually want to cosplay Alistair from Hasbone Hotel, as well as Angel Dust.
Right.
And because, I like Angel Dust because he's a I don't know, he's this horny pervert who's also just totally fecking gay, and I love it. And then Alistair is the psychopath, the grinning demon. Also, his backstory is pretty interesting.
He just likes to cause chaos and just like to fuck around.
Yeah,
with people.
you've seen the pilot episode, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Have you ever looked at the wiki?
No, I have not. I've been because like my next character, I actually have 2 characters in mind for the future. One of them is going to be named Conscious, and
Okay.
I got inspired by the character because you've probably seen a few people did this audio where it's like, "Do you feel guilty, John?" And he's like, "What?" Like, well, most people usually feel guilty due to the. I think he said something like due to the accident.
Okay.
So I'm thinking like every time, like I wouldn't say like every time I do something bad, but it's like I just kind of feel guilty over the stupidest thing, and that's when my conscience kicks in.
Yeah, that does make sense. I like that. That's actually pretty well thought out. But no, I haven't heard that audio.
Like every time I get on TikTok, it's like everyone is doing it. I'll probably send you just like a video of whoever does it.
Yeah.
But a second one is you seen Hell of a Boss, right?
Yes, I've been keeping up with all of their episodes as best as I can.
Yeah. Well, I think right now they only probably have 4, but I actually like it.
Oh yeah,
I want to do a character like Moxie because Moxie is
I
like
like Moxie.
he's so nice and innocent, yet he can kill people easily.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I like Moxie. And then there's his badass girlfriend who's like, I love kittens, but I'm also gonna kill you.
It's just like it's weird, but it's like it matches perfectly of their dynamic of being a relationship.
Yeah, they balance each other out.
Okay. But I haven't really figured out how I want to develop this character, or what am I going to make him look like? Because right now I'm mostly concentrating on my conscious character.
I mean, it's all up to you. Improvisation is sometimes the best way to go. Doesn't work with every character, but that's how I came up with Redgrinner. It was originally just a name.
Right. Oh, I didn't want to tell you this for quite some time. When I first did a duet with you, I wasn't expecting you to like follow me back because I saw your video.
I get that a lot.
No, it's because like during the time I barely had like 2,000 followers, and I saw you're already like over 30,000. I was like, oh man, this guy's like way too fucking popular for me. He's not gonna really care for me. And then when you did follow me, I was like, oh my god, he fucking followed me.
No, I get that a lot. Honestly, there are quite a few people that now I'm sitting now at 57.8 thousand, and I still get that on occasion where I find someone, I follow them. And it turns out they're already following me. I had that. So there is a user. His name is Shadowboy Varric, and I did that. I followed him once I saw one of his videos, and then I popped into his live stream, and it was great. He fanboyed.
I honestly got fanboy once. I forgot his name. He kind of changes his name a lot, so that's why I'm like, I can't really remember his name right now. But there was a guy I follow. We end up following each other. And you know how like TikTok, whenever you're scrolling through videos, they sometimes show you like a sneak peek of whoever's live, and you can click the button to join the live stream. So I see this guy, and whenever somebody pops in, he says hi. He'd be like, hey, Jasmine 127, hey, Derek, hey. He was like basically, trying to say hi to everyone. So let me just pop in. I'll say, hey, let's see what's going on. The moment I popped in, boom, he got starstruck all of a sudden.
That's great.
Like he started like, "Oh my god, ALine mask! I'm so happy here."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh damn,
This
man!"
is, and this is definitely one of the pros to you to the app TikTok is that it can really help you grow as a person. It can help you boost your confidence, especially as you positively influence people, gain fans, and all that jazz. I mean, it's helped me grow ever since I joined October 8th, 2019. Um, but then, of course, there are some downsides, and it seems like they're rectifying some of these issues they have. For example, have you noticed a lot of videos now seem to have this option where you can either where it has a caption that says, "This video contains sensitive content. Skip or watch anyway."
I actually seen that a lot, and to be honest, I'm glad they have that option because it's like, hey, you know what? I'd rather have people have the option of seeing a warning, and then they decide if they want to watch it or
Yeah.
not, than all of a sudden like, oh, we have to take your video down because of no fucking
Well,
reason.
It's primarily because they base their decisions on the feedback of the people who are watching everybody else, and that's not really that good. This new sort of filtration option puts more power in the hands of the audience, but not in a negative way. And I feel like this is their attempt to avoid unnecessary banning and whatnot. I really like that, and hopefully this helps them go down a better road. Yeah.
Right, I get what you mean. So here's one of the things I kind of don't understand about TikTok. So, well, here's the one thing I started to notice. Whenever like people are trying to like ban cosplayers, or like people will say like, "Oh, cosplayers are ruining this app. This app is not the same."
Yeah,
ever since
there's a
cosplayers-"
lot of people like that.
Here's the one thing I notice about those kind of people. Majority of them, they are sex offenders.
Did not know. Did
I
not
noticed
pick up
this
on that, honestly.
I noticed this because I had a theory of why do these people hate cosplayers? They could just follow someone, and then TikTok will give you the option like, hey, do you want to keep going through your For You page where we'll give you random TikTokers, and it's up to you if you want to continue to watch them or you just skip them. Or your second option is go to the following page, so that way whoever you're following, that's all of the videos you're gonna see.
Yeah. Well, that, and there's the option to
thinking-
actually block people, which doesn't really negatively affect the it doesn't negatively affect the account that's getting blocked.
Right. But like I was saying, because I started having these theories like, I don't understand why are people saying like cosplayers are ruining this app. If anything, cosplayers is bettering this app.
Here's the thing. When you get people who start nitpicking cosplayers, they're made up of a whole. It's more like a trail mix. You don't really just have one person. Sex offenders, I could see that. I could definitely see that. But then you also have the radicals from different groups. Or you have just trolls, straight up trolls, people who will just say shit in order to get a reaction. Real quick before we continue, what type of audience are you trying to appeal to here? Are you trying to appeal to adults? Because I don't know how censored you want to go here.
Honestly, no, I'm open. Like, you can literally say whatever. You can cuss. You can make dick jokes.
I had to ask because initially I'm not. I try to play it cautious. Although I mean I didn't do that well with a kid recently, but no filter whatsoever.
No, it's good because honestly, like, I understand people like kind of get worried some because they're like, oh, what about the kids? Aren't you afraid kids are gonna watch this game? Like, you know what? Honestly, with the world that we're living in, kids are gonna see
they're gonna
hear
see
shit far worse than what we're gonna
so
do.
if you're worried about your kids seeing this, are you really doing a good job of parenting? Like, are you really?
Right. I'm like thinking, like, man, what I don't understand is like, yeah, they'll be like, what about the children? I don't want kids to be like, we are living in a time where you can control shit. You can literally control what your kids watch. But yet they don't want to go through the extra mile to do that.
Evidently not. The thing is that with the internet being as open as it is a place where you have to be cautious, and it is a place where you also have the freedom to do with it as you will, so long as you are not harming other people. Yeah, when you are letting your kid get on the internet, you are basically consenting to letting your kid get exposed to adult material, unless you have the filters in place. That is not the child's fault. That is not the person's fault who is producing the content. That is the parent's fault.
Right. I don't know if you've seen that video or heard that one song by Little Nas X.
I've had that audio popping up on my feed multiple times, and then no, I'm not taking the time to watch the video.
I mean, I haven't seen the video, like all of it, but I've seen
gist.
Basically people.
I get the gist.
Like coming from hell, going down
and
to hell.
And then he's doing a lap dance on the devil's lap. I mean, okay, I get it. Y'all are going. Yeah. I see what y'all are doing. You do you. That's great. I'm not against it. I love artistic freedom. I really do. But it's like anybody who that sort of thing is an example of like, yes, this is something you are free to do. It's an artistic expression, but
right.
You can.
Go ahead, just say it.
I just realized that the way I was going down, the train of thought I was taking was not going to express what I was going to express. The thing is that parents should be, if parents are going to take the time to be aware of the fact that content exists, then they should be proactive in filtering it out for the kids.
Right. And there are ways of doing it, but for some reason, parents, they're just like, he needs to do
exactly like, the people on the internet and those of us content, like, they provide the tools. The tools are there for you to use to filter it out. I mean, I can understand if maybe your kid is autistic and just happens to know, like, ooh, I know how to hack. Like, they can hack the fucking computer and then completely bypass everything. But I mean, unless that's the case, you got the power.
Right. It's like, but here's what the problem is. I kind of like read into it, like, why are parents freaking out? It's because I guess Little Nas, he used to be like a kids person, like, he used to do kid shows. He used to be like, he was like for kids, and then all of a sudden he did this. It's like, no, you're supposed to be like a kid's model. You're supposed to be like,
See, this is the same shit that Hannah Montana's audience pulled when she started putting out adult content, adult music. But it was, and granted, she did it also in rebellion against her father. But as soon as she did that, they pulled the same shit. And that's stupid.
I know. What blows my mind, it's like, I understand, like, yes, when I watch Hannah Montana, well, I didn't really watch it, I was kind of forced because I have 6 sisters, by the way. But, yeah, we were basically kids. Hannah Montana was basically a kid, and, now that I'm an adult, it's like, I'm not expecting her to have her entire career about kids.
Yeah, gosh, man.
She's finally grown up. So she's like, she should be doing adult things. But the moment she does adult things, oh my god,
God
freaking,
forbid.
let's
It's because
crucify
people
me.
don't like change. People get used to the same old pattern, and as soon as someone breaks that pattern, they freak out.
Right. And but here's like another thing too. Like I understand like her point of view. It's just like she's also worried. Like I think she said this at her interview once, or I don't know how this got out, but she said like something like, "Hey, I'm just worried that I can't just be doing the same thing over and over because people are gonna be like, you know what? She's been doing the same shit over and over. There's this new TV show. I'm just gonna watch that, and her career is basically over."
I mean, I could totally understand that. And there are people like that. But then there's also the people who like to see the same stuff. Point is, though, that people change. And just because someone does one thing doesn't mean they should be expected to be only doing that for the rest of their lives. Or just because they did poorly in one situation doesn't mean they're going to continue to do poorly in future works. For example, what's his name? The guy who's gonna be playing the newest Batman, right?
The guy that play as Edward from Twilight.
He didn't just play Edward, though. He didn't just play Edward.
I'm sorry, but like
I know
he played like all the movies, but like every time I think of him, that's the only movie I can like.
Yeah, well, you remember the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter?
Yeah,
he did a pretty good job there. See, whenever
he did.
Whenever I think, hold on one second. Let me Google his name real quick. So hold up. Here we go. Okay, Robert Pattinson. Got it. No, when I think of Robert Pattinson, I always think Harry Potter. Because that's where I first saw him.
Right. I think that's the first time I saw him too. It's just I didn't recognize him. Like the guy who played as Jacob. I didn't know he was actually the same kid who played as Shark Boy and Lava Girl. He was the one who played as Shark Boy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, fuck, I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah.
But I did hear like so many people were pissed that he was going to play Batman. I was like, why? Why does nobody want him to play as Batman?
I had done a little bit of reading too. He's not going to be buffing up for the role, which is very interesting. It seems like they're going to be focusing more on the detective side of Batman. And I think it's about fucking time they did that. There's a reason. There's a reason that he was made initially. And DC, it stands for Detective Comics. Next to Superman, Batman is one of the biggest iconic models when it comes to representing Detective Comics. And I think having him as a detective is the best way to go. If they're going to do that, this ought to be a way for me to actually enjoy the character. Not gonna lie, I don't like Batman in general because I had to do just I did some research into his character as well, and ended up working out the conclusions. Batman is not a hero. And there's a lot of people who as soon as they hear me say that, they're probably they would probably jump down my throat about that. But Batman is not a hero. If Batman's got the money to afford all this military level equipment, that's more advanced than any of the rest of the crap in Gotham, and he can put all that towards just setting himself up as a vigilante in a costume, don't you think he could use that money and that technology to improve the security in Gotham?
Right.
I'm just... It's ridiculous. See, the reason that he even starts on his vigilante path is the fact that his parents got killed. He's not doing this for the rest of the people in Gotham. He's doing this in revenge. It's a selfish act.
Right. But didn't he not end up getting his revenge? Like, the guy did get arrested, and then that's when Batman's like, you know what? I'm not gonna do anything to this guy. I'm just gonna, let justice do its thing.
I think in some renditions, even though he caught the guy, it turns out the guy wasn't the one who committed the crime. And in the 1919, is it 1998? The 1998 Batman? Or was it 1997? I don't know if it, which... In Tim Burton's Batman, Joker killed Batman's parents.
Which does kind of make sense in a way.
But it wasn't,
because
he was younger.
I'm not really much of a DC person. I'm more of a Marvel person. So the question I always was curious was, who is Joker and what made him become Joker? And whenever I ask people that, they just said, like, nobody doesn't know. He's just some random crazy guy who just does all this random shit.
The thing is that in reality, we don't know. Like I said, I've done extensive research. There are multiple different backstories, but nothing has been made canon. And DC Comics has done that on purpose. They don't want Joker to have a solid backstory.
But I kind of think of one, because here's one thing that I've seen, like, multiple TV shows, multiple movies when it comes to the Joker. There is one thing they kind of have in common about Joker, is that the reason why he became Joker is because he used to work at a laboratory, and I guess he fell into like a chemical plant thing.
Yeah.
And that's when he lost his
Falling
mind.
into a vat of chemicals is a common one. They did that in Tim Burton's. They did it in The Killing Joke. But one of the newest versions of the story is where he got driven insane by society, or he already was insane. Have you seen Joaquin Phoenix's Joker?
Well, I actually wanted to talk about that. So, the Joker from Suicide Squad?
Yeah, hated that. We're talking about the live-action Suicide Squad, right? With Jared Leto? Yeah. Yeah.
I actually haven't seen it, but I was reading, like, he used to talk so much shit about Joaquin Phoenix being a Joker. He's like, he's not even that good of a
jealous.
Joker. And
that's what I'll say. I think he's jealous.
No, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, why does he feel so threatened by him? And then when I went to go watch Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, to be honest, one of the best Jokers I have ever seen in my life.
I list him up there with sorry, I'm totally spacing out on the guy's name. He's right up there with Jack Nicholson's Joker and Heath Ledger's. And he's not my type of Joker. He's not the Joker I would play. But he's a Joker, and he played it well. Here's the problem with Jared Leto's Joker, okay? He's too modern pop culture. Joker's supposed to be more New York gangster style, with a theatrical flair. Jared Leto's Joker looked like crap. It was the physical appearance. If the physical appearance had been fixed, I guarantee people would have loved it. Everything else was fine. His laugh, the voice, it was perfectly fine. It worked just fine for the Joker, but they needed to improve his aesthetic.
Right. Like I said, I haven't seen Suicide Squad. It is like one of my to-do watch movie
I
lists.
yeah, I haven't
But
really watched the whole thing all the way
I
through
feel
either.
like, but I feel like even after I watch it, I still would say Joaquin Phoenix was one of the best Jokers that ever
Yeah,
played Joker.
Jared Leto's was like Justin Bieber being compared to rock singers. So,
Right?
no, no,
And
I mean, I'm I'm pretty sure Justin Bieber gets a lot of shit, and I'm pretty sure that Jared Leto gets a lot of shit now, especially after that role. But I'm gonna say this shit anyways.
right?
I think one of the biggest things you gotta end up having to deal with when you're in show business is the harsh criticisms and whatnot. Now, real quick before I continue, because remember we were talking about trolls criticizing people on TikTok, and here I am criticizing celebrities. Right? I want to clarify what makes the difference here. The difference is you're not going to their page. You're not going and sending them messages with your criticisms. We are
Right.
because we're sitting here in our own space where people have the choice to pop in and turn it on and listen to it. We're not forcing it on them. That's the difference.
Right.
So.
Right. But here's the one thing I actually want to say. If there's any TikTokers, YouTubers, anyone who's like doing stuff like this, here's a little message that I want to say. Whenever you get a bully, a troll, someone who just wants to be an asshole to you, telling you like, "Oh, your videos suck. Your video is boring. I don't know why you're making videos. You're like one of the worst people that like, try to do these things. You're not even talented." Honestly, I would welcome that. And the reason why I say I would welcome that is because here's the one thing that these bullies have in common. One, they don't have a life. Me, I'm too busy to be bullying people. It's like, I don't get how people will have the time to bully people. And here's the one thing I also noticed. The reason why people will bully you about your videos is because they don't have the courage nor the talent, and they're just jealous of you.
That is true.
They're jealous of your life. They're jealous that you have the balls to stand in front of your camera and be like, "Hey, look at me. I'm a doofus," or "Hey, look at me. I have all this confidence."
For a lot of people, it's a lot easier said than done, though. And some people struggle with constant anxiety and chronic depression. It really it makes all of that a lot heavier. That, and I mean, you only really covered the most generic of saying. Some people say things a lot worse than that cut a lot closer to the bone. So,
like I know, like some people, they just know how to get under your skin.
Sounds
like
real good.
They could even come up to me and say, "Your videos are ruined." I'll just be like, well, "All right, whatever. That's your opinion." But I'm pretty sure there are people that are like, they know how to get under your skin. Like they could say a certain thing, and that's what's gonna make your blood boil.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, if they take the time, even to say your video sucks, that means something. Because I'm not gonna lie, there's some TikTokers or there's like some people like I don't really like their videos, but I don't really like put in like stupid shit like that. I just keep scrolling because it's like it's literally, it may take 2 seconds to say you suck, but it's like, you know what? I don't even want to waste 2 seconds of saying that to people.
Yeah, another thing I personally don't care to deal with, that I don't care for dealing with, but I still deal with it, is see, here's the thing. I'm a huge critic when it comes to my own work. I'm a huge critic when it comes to other people's work. Whether I open my mouth about it or not is another story. But there are some people that I share servers in common with, who I can't necessarily just block, because we share the server in common, and that it would likely create drama because some of them, they're not all that good. I'm gonna be frank about that. They're not all that good. There's a lot of room for improvement. There's a good reason why I won't duet them or nothing. But I can't really say that either. I can't just say it to their face, or so to speak, because then I'm gonna look like an asshole. And that's the reality of things.
Right.
Is that some people, it's like, bruh, I'm sorry, but I have a particular aesthetic and quality level that I aim for, and you're not meeting it.
Right. And that's another thing that I want to say to like TikTokers. It's like, because when I first started TikTok, I had like my best friend, watching my videos and, asked him like, what do you think? Is there any improvements? Should I do anything? And there were harsh critics. Like, she was not holding back. They're like, you're not moving much. Your lip syncing fucking sucks. You need to practice lip syncing. You need to open your mouth.
Your expression, your expression is blank.
Like, yeah, she was not holding back when she was like giving me these criticisms.
But you opened the door. You invited it, right? Yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference. See, there are some that, I mean, when you actually let it in, you got to be able to. How did you handle it, actually?
It hurt. Like, the way she it hurt. But when I watched the video, it's like, you know what? It makes sense. Like, the audio it's full of action and heart pumping, and I'm just standing there with a blank face.
One of the biggest things that's best to do, which I've done ever since I joined TikTok, is I compare my work with other people's, and I try to reflect the things that I found appealing. I would break down other people's videos in my own head to see what parts I liked, what parts I didn't, and I did my best to emulate the good aspects. I haven't met up to a lot of those standards yet. I'm still trying. One thing I feel like I really need to work on is my ability to do my makeup. That's not easy to do. I'm feckin' blind, bro. If you notice in my videos where I'm not in cosplay, I'm always wearing glasses. Or when I'm in a live stream, I'm always wearing glasses. I can't read without them. And I can't do fine line work without them either.
Well, I just want to let you know that I honestly love your makeup work. Like, honestly, I wish I could get to your level.
It's not really that hard. I mean, here.
It's not that hard, but to me, it's
here's the thing. With Raven, have you seen Raven? Black hair, pale skin.
The one that like a gang killed him and then he was brought to life. Yeah, okay, yeah,
he's got black hair, pale skin. He's like if I've appeared on your for you page, then you must be just as you must be just as weird. You're like weird as fuck, that sort of thing. Like you're going through some shit right now, aren't you? And you're coping with it with humor. Nice. Here's the thing, Raven. It only took two things. Okay, some black eyeshadow, both on the inner lining of the lips, and on the lining of my eyelids, and then just the palest foundation I could find. That was it. I blank slated my face and made myself look dead, and then I put a messy black wig on top of it. I don't have the black wig anymore. I need to get a new one.
No, but again, like I said, your makeup work, I think it's amazing because I don't know if you see my videos where I try to play as Joker. Well, the goal of that character, it wasn't really Joker. I was actually trying to do what is it called? Gender bending of Harley Quinn. Because I seen like a lot of females, do Joker, And I'm like, huh, there's no males
Except
of doing
Coronation.
Harley Quinn.
He
I think I've seen some of those.
really embodies the male Harley Quinn. I'm just saying.
I need to probably look them up, but there's like Harley people doing that. So I was like, you know what? Let me do a gender bending of Harley Quinn then. But I need to work on the makeup. It's the makeup I keep fucking up with.
It's not easy to pull off a male Harley Quinn. It really is not.
No,
I mean, you can go all different directions with Harley, but yeah, that and Joker. Joker is an easy character to put together, believe it or not, but he's not easy to do well. I remember when I first started doing Joker, a Joker look, it was cheap face paint, and I mean, it looked cool at the time. But I mean, you can only go so much based off of what you're seeing when you have to wear prescriptions like mine. But eventually, I decided I wanted to use actual makeup, and it evolved. I discovered the Kubrick stare before I even knew what it was called, and that's how I developed my Joker's expressions and the grin. So,
right. So I'm rewinding a few stabs. I meant stabs. I don't know why I said stabs. I think it's because whenever I think of Joker, he's he's the one that usually carries a knife more than any other weapon. But, rewinding a few steps when we were talking about Joaquin Phoenix, I actually went to go watch it at a movie theater, and every time I go to the movie theater, there's always that that one loud kid or that one loud couple.
Yeah, there's always one person who thought
loud.
everyone was laughing, weren't they? Everyone.
Yeah.
I had that happening when I went to watch Joker. There were key moments where we were all laughing. It's just like, dude, this is great.
No, but when towards the end, spoiler alert in case anyone who hasn't
warning, there's
seen Joker
spoilers.
yet.
I'm not exactly leaving anything out. Let people complain.
But towards the end, when he did that live show with that one guy.
The guy's name. The guy's name. It was Murray. Something Murray. Murray Franklin. That was his name. His name was Murray Franklin, played by Robert De Niro.
Right. So during that scene when Joker was like, "Ever wonder what it's like to be someone like me?" You remember that speech, right?
But yeah, I get it.
During that speech, the movie theater, it was dead. Literally, nobody was talking. Nobody wasn't doing anything. It was one of the quietest moments. You can tell every single person, and it was packed. It was the movie theater I went to. It was packed, and you could feel the vibe that every single person in that room is paying attention to what he has to say. And what he said, it's true. It's hard to be it's kind of hard to be yourself, yet you have to still be exactly the same of everyone in society. And then in society, it treats you so bad, it came to the point where, you finally lash out, and all of a sudden, you're the bad guy. When society is treating you so goddamn bad.
And what I see, here's the thing. You could tell a good portion of what happened in the movie was in Joker's head. Some of the things that happened weren't real. For example, when he was supposedly given the gun, it turns out that his coworker wasn't really giving him a gun. He had, I guess, tried to buy a gun from him or something like that. Which is one of the reasons I think he got fired? I don't know.
Well, yeah, because he got fired because he was being a clown at a children's hospital, and then I guess
yeah.
and he got
Oh,
booted for
here's
that.
something that not a lot of people would notice unless you've done your research or your OGs when it comes to Joker. One of his coworkers was a midget named Gary.
I remember because my favorite part was when they came to visit
Yeah.
him to see he's okay, and
Mhm.
he ends up killing that guy, and he's all trying to reach for the lock, and he's like,
Well,
"Hey, can
the
you help me?"
reason
And he
I bring
scares
this
him.
up is this actually plays into the fact that that over the course of time when Joker was being portrayed, before Harley Quinn, his original sidekick was a midget clown with anger issues named Gaggy Gagsworthy. You didn't know that?
I didn't know.
Not
that.
a lot of people do. This was one of my favorite things
Well-
when I was working at the theater and we were showing this movie. I would pop out with this fun fact. Majority of people didn't know it. I found there were a select few who actually knew exactly what I was talking about. But yeah, no, I loved that Easter egg. That was so good. It had me just dying in the feckin' theater. I was like, that's Gaggy! I mean, he was a clown! They're working as party clowns. You got the midget named Gary. I mean, it was that was way too easy to point out, to pick out of the movie.
Right. So I didn't mention this. I should have mentioned this to you. Whenever I do like my podcast, I try to do up to like an hour, because the way I'm gonna edit the videos, because not only am I gonna post it here, but I'm also gonna post it on my YouTube channel. So in case people want to download the app, they can just go over to my YouTube channel and just watch it there. So I'm gonna be using my PlayStation still to do the videos, and for some reason, PlayStation, whenever it comes to making videos, you can only go up to an hour.
Okay.
But we can make multiple episodes. Like, I'm really hoping I can make multiple.
Yeah, no, that makes
episodes
sense.
with you.
And no, I would definitely look forward to that. I do want to be a streamer, and I would like to one day put out videos on YouTube as well, focusing around gaming and whatnot. And I think we can definitely touch up on games in our next talk.
Right. And another thing too is what I also want to do is, like, after I'm done making the videos of everything, I'll send you a link too, so you can have your own copy. Just in case if you ever just want it.
I think I would want to keep the podcasts on yours, because I already know what I want to do with my YouTube channel in the future, and it does not leave room for podcasts.
And well, real quick, because we got like 8 minutes left. So one of the questions I always want to ask whenever I get like a new guest is, what inspired you to be a TikToker?
I had seen TikTok advertised in a few different places, and eventually an ex-friend of mine just convinced me to join it. When I saw everything that was getting put up there, and I started finding cosplayers, goth, alt, it left me realizing I could put content up here of my cosplay. I could start there. I could put out entertainment, because I want to be able to entertain people. And so I started to do it, and then in my first month I got 1,000 followers. I was doing pretty good, especially considering that I had a cracked front-facing camera and I had to use the back one. It still worked.
It still worked. And I think you mentioned like earlier, you changed your name like 3 times.
Yeah,
was it? Did you change your
I changed my name. A few times.
Right. Because ALine Mask was actually my second name. My first name, it actually had like my real name. But when I started doing videos, I was like, you know what? I'm probably not going to get that much followers, so I don't really care. But after I got like 500 followers, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should change my name, because I don't want people to like trying to look for me, trying to like find out about my personal life, and I just want like one of those crazy stalkers.
You don't
or
have
whatever.
ALine mask though. As in, I'm saying ALine mask. It looks like you're saying ALine mask, right? Yeah, you don't have a mask with lines. Like, you don't have ALine mask, I've noticed.
Right. Well, the reason why I came up with the name is because I'm always changing characters, and I always have different masks on. I was gonna do a third one because my main one is the Legion one, which is like a gray mask and a leather jacket. That's usually the one that most people will mostly see me in. But I'm always changing it up, and I have like all these different masks, and that's when I came up with the name ALine Mask, because I have like a line of masks that I can wear.
Makes sense. I feel like if you're going to make this a regular thing and whatnot, you definitely need a logo to go with it, and I feel like a mask, like a mask logo made up of lines, would be very interesting.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like, I also want to like change my profile picture, but I'm trying to find like
something for you.
Like, I just want to like what I'm looking for is like me, like standing there, and in front of me there's like a line of all these masks right in front of me.
Complicated. We should talk about it a little more after the recording, but
I'll probably send you some pictures just so like you get like some sort of idea of what I'm talking about.
Makes sense.
So what else?
And 4 minutes. This is where I just start to wind down and just. Because there's not a lot you can really talk about within the last 4 minutes.
I know, it's like you start a conversation, and it's like it's a kind of a conversation of more than 4 minutes. So we'll probably just end the podcast right here, and we'll reschedule, to do another one, and I'll post. I'm gonna post it like every Friday, so it's like at least that'll give me time to like get the video together,
and,
get on
our next topic.
The editing right.
We could try talking more about gaming. It's a pretty good general topic, and yeah,
we can do that. But honestly, I actually really enjoyed this. Like, I'm pretty sure you could tell. Like,
you're
from
excited.
The very beginning,
Yeah, you're high energy, and that's good
right
to have in a podcast. You need that.
But I really enjoy this. I really love having you as a guest, and I really look forward to our next podcasting.
All right.
And I did ask Mandy and Wild if they want to do a podcast.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Too.
You could share that on the Discord as well.
And I did see. I'm actually looking at the app right now, and it says I can add even more people. So it's like maybe I could invite Dan and you. Do all this.
Yeah, that is.
Oh my God, I'm so excited!
It was nice to.
That's why I'm so happy.